Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. A little bit of red coming in today, not much. Dow down 2 points, NASDAQ down 13, S&P down 1, VIX up 2% at 18.60. Morning, Bosch. Morning, Articulate. Morning, Brandon. Most stocks are pretty flat and down a little bit or up just slightly. Amazon, one of the stronger ones, up 0.85%. Meta up 0.67. Netflix earnings after the bell. Looks like the S&P has a expected move of 29 points. Be trading the Mighty 90 continuation runner and volume runner this morning. CoreWeave down 2.57%. CoreWeave was getting hit pretty bad yesterday as well. Down S&P trying to go green. Bell's going to ring here shortly. And the bell has rung. Chips down a little bit again. NVIDIA in the red. So is MU, SMCI. Microsoft pushing up above pre-market highs, so is Amazon and Apple. NVIDIA falling below pre-market lows. So is Tesla falling. Take a look at my 1 DTE with the VIX being up 2%. All right, I filled on my 1 DTE. NASDAQ coming down. NASDAQ's definitely the weakest here. NASDAQ down 28. S&P up just a touch. PLTR with a pretty big drop there below pre-market lows. Apple strong again. Apple was strong yesterday. Nice push up in Apple. Getting our second bar here, so we'll look for some big volume coming in. Got some stocks seeing a bit of a bounce now. Hood staying weak. CrowdStrike has a volume bar to the upside. Yeah, what a nice push up in Apple. Yeah, so CrowdStrike has a volume bar. That looks like that's it. Today we trade the 3 DTE. See CrowdStrike. I'm going to be looking at the 510 calls. Just kind of watching CrowdStrike here. Kind of a wide bid ask. S&P with a bit of a reversal. Chips back down, NVIDIA through lows. S&P goes red. Yeah, I'm just going to hold off on CrowdStrike for now. It's a little bit of wide bid ask. S&P NASDAQ down through lows. VIX with a spike up. So a lot of stocks falling, except for Apple. Man, should have got long on that little pullback in Apple. Missed it. Darn it. Had a nice pullback here. Didn't really flush like some of these others. Amazon at the highs of day. See my channel, Dark Avenger. See, I'm going to look at getting long Apple here. On the 265 calls. Filled at 257. 265 calls filled at 267. I would close half at 285. Amazon still staying strong as well. SMCI coming down. VIX still going up. Yeah, VIX through highs of day now. S&P through lows. VIX through highs. So VIX must not like being down. It's trying to get back some of what it lost yesterday. Apple holding well so far. But about a 15-point drop in the S&P and counting from the open, or I guess from highs. Apple coming down. It's right at my line in the sand. So this bar needs to get over with, and we need a bounce. But initial move down in the indices, at least the NASDAQ and S&P, is down. I want to see Apple bounce here. Yeah, when it touched highs, I don't want it to just grind lower. Or touched all-time highs. Chips getting a little bit of a bounce. MU bouncing. NVIDIA not as much. Nice little bounce there in the indices. Apple was real close to hitting my profit target. Let's see if it can push up a little bit more. There we go. Filled an Apple at 285. Ooh, nice push up in Apple. Wow. Get out of another Apple at 315. Filled at 315. Get out of another at 340. Hood staying weak. And now Apple coming back down, darn it. Definitely wanted Apple to stay above highs of day. Wow, what a retreat in Apple there. Do not like that. That just wiped a lot of profits. Huh. Touched highs and sold off quick. Yeah, don't like that bar in Apple whatsoever. That's wild how it pushed up, came all the way back down and turned red. Actually has a nice mighty 90 long, honestly. But now it's eating all my profits. Wow. I'm going to hold it because it does have a mighty 90 long here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold. And if you're not in Apple, you could have gotten in here on this mighty 90. Indices back down. Man, what an unfortunate turn on an Apple. S&P and NASDAQ, after that bounce, pushed right back down. I was considering getting short hood, but it had already moved down too quick. Tell you what, Amazon is not participating in this down move at all, but S&P now flushing through lows of day. Wow. So a little bit of confusing price action here. Yeah, Amazon just pushing up. A lot of stocks through lows of day. VIX up to highs of day. A good hold there on Apple on that mighty 90. Dow staying green though, up 52. MSTR, it's also staying somewhat, it's in the red, but it's close to highs of day. It's right up at pre-market highs. Could be a potential long in MSTR, but it's coming down here. If it goes through pre-market highs, then I might get long. S&P and NASDAQ coming down to lows. Yeah, MSTR trying to bounce. There goes S&P. Down 20 points from the highs of day. VIX through highs. Man, MSTR popped back up. Looks like it wants to go higher. Hasn't made it through pre-market highs yet, though. Yeah, MSTR pushed back down, so I'm just going to hold off. So far, it's struggled to get through highs of day. SMCI through lows. S&P through lows and falling fast. I think if we bounce, MSTR will eventually make it through highs of day. Nvidia through lows of day. Netflix pushing up. Has earnings after the bell. AMD through lows. So chips weak again. Seems like the chips just might be bringing everything down. TSM bouncing a little bit. One direction for Amazon. Their MSTR pushing above yesterday's lows. I was looking at the 300 calls in MSTR. Just watching it closely. It ticked through. Filled at 555 in MSTR. Just did a small position. A little bit smaller than normal as it pushes through. Pre-market highs. Just did 4 contracts. So a little bit smaller than normal. Get out of half at 610. Let's see. Let's put MSTR over here. So definitely want it to stay above here. I don't want it to go back down below. Like to see this bar finish above Pre-market highs. Man, Amazon. Amazon's been weak for quite a while, though. Filled at 615 in MSTR. Close another MSTR at 670. So definitely did what I wanted it to. It's finished above pre-market highs. See if it'll push back up. Nvidia falling. Microsoft through lows. And Amazon. Nice little bounce helping my 1 DTE, currently up 10%. Still an Apple is just kind of hanging out around yesterday's highs. Nice push up in MSTR. I've got an order at 670 to close another. Guess I should have went normal size in MSTR. Some of these stocks like Nvidia and Microsoft, they don't look like they want to bounce much. Although the VIX is coming back down. A nice push up in Amazon. Nvidia, not bouncing much at all. Although TSM, SMCI, they're getting a nice bounce. Apple, not doing much now. Yeah, Apple pushed up, got a new all-time high, and just hasn't been able to get back up there. Yeah, well, Nvidia's bouncing now a little bit. S&P push down, now it's starting a little bit of a push up, so maybe we're getting our second push here. And then we'll get some consolidation. VIX coming down at lows of day, so. And Apple coming down low, lower than I wanted it to. Man, what a bummer. Had high hopes for that Apple trade. Tesla trying to turn things around as well. MSTR trying to get up to highs of day. One DTE up 15%. Yeah, Microsoft staying weak, AVGO staying weak. MSTR, though, still pushing. Filled at 675 to close another MSTR. So since I went smaller than normal, I only have one left. See if I can close it out for 730. Nice bounce in the indices now. S&P just went green. Dow up 141. Just noticed that. CrowdStrike pushed above yesterday's high. So that finally did bounce after that big volume bar. Love to see Apple rip up to highs of day. Nice little bounce in the chips. MU, NVIDIA. Amazon does not look like it wants to slow down. It's really helping out my long calls that I have in Amazon. Let's see, they expire January. I was still down about 15% in Amazon on these calls, but it's cut it in half today, pretty much. Talked about that a little bit yesterday. I have 5 of the 200 calls. No, I don't. I've never transformed my 1 DTE, Jonathan. No. S&P up to almost highs of day now. Wow. What a reversal. What a reversal. One DTE is up about 20%. Oh, MSTR coming down a bit. I only got one contract, so I think I'm just going to close it and take my profit. Filled at 625. So $310 profit. I'll take it. Well, I don't think I'm going to get anything else, guys. It's getting close to 9:30. I'm going to start looking at TLC trades. Apple, if it comes down below this consolidation, I'll exit. Otherwise, hopefully it'll make a push up at some point. I will see everybody during Power Hour. Peace.